All right, it's time for the three big things you need to know. First big thing you need to know, the average 30-year fixed rate, according to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac right now, is 6.33%. Some folks may have to pay some points with that, some may not, but the average is coming in at 6.33%. VA and FHA are much more attractive. We're seeing interest rates in the mid fives, sometimes the low fives. I've even seen a buy down at 4.99%. So interest rates are improving. Second big thing you need to know, we are experiencing some inflation. I don't think those inflation numbers are correct. But when you are backing up against inflation and the numbers just came out, it could cause interest rates to rise. This week was a locking bias, meaning that we think that rates are going to get worse before they get better. The average consumer doesn't believe that. They don't think so. But the average consumer thinks that rates come down when the Fed drops the Fed rate. My listeners know better. They know that I told everybody when the Fed drops the Fed rate, expect interest rates to get worse. What do you think happened? We are almost a half a point worse on the discount point. That raised interest rates up about an eighth of a point. Third big thing you need to know. Just because the Fed's going to drop the Fed rate again, October 29th is the next meeting, and there's a good chance they're going to drop it another quarter of a point. I would suggest that if you're looking to buy a home or refinance, you better look carefully at locking in before that Fed cut. Because just like I predicted, interest rates can get worse. They're usually better leading up to the Fed cut, not after the Fed cut. If you go back to last September of 2024, the Fed dropped the Fed rate half a point. Interest rates went from 6.25 to 7.75 in 3 weeks. Then November, they dropped it a quarter. They got worse again. December, they got worse again. Then they started to get better. Then we got the reports on tariffs. They got worse again. Then they started to get better. Then the Fed does a recent cut of a quarter of a point. We had interest rates at 6.25. Now they're up to 6.33. So don't think because the Fed's going to cut the Fed rate that you're going to get a better interest rate. Right now, it's proving to be the exact opposite. Those are the three big things you need to know. Have a great weekend.